Hello and welcome into another edition of That's So Dolphins Talk. Got myself, Johnny Bake Show, and the co-pilot, Trigger Trey Proctor. The Finns handed out an ass whipping.
Absolute can of whoop ass on the New England Patriots. You love to see it. Tua is papa to the Patriots.
I just wish he was papa to the Bills.
I do too. I do too. Fair criticism.
Yes. But yes, the Finns absolutely dominated the Patriots all three phases. And I think that the very clear consensus, if you watch that game yesterday, is that Tua is incredibly special to this offense. He means everything to this team. And if we're going to have a backup named Skylar Thompson, we are doomed.
Yeah, I don't think anyone will ever question what Tua means to this team ever again. Like, he is just the clinic that he put on offensively yesterday was it was I know people throw around the word surgical all the time, but it was legit surgical. Like, he was just the anticipatory throws that he was making, like some of the stuff that I sent you, it was unbelievable. And there was probably 3 or 4 times yesterday while watching that game that when he let go of the ball, I thought it was picked, and I was like, "Oh God!"
Yeah.
But it was just like he was just on some shit yesterday, and like, I hope he doesn't come back to bite us in the ass, like he gets a little too cocky and then tries to fit one in there. But
Yeah.
man, it was fun to watch him play. That whole team yesterday, just the defense was flying around. They were making tackles in opportune times. They got beat a little bit on the run, which worries me a little bit. You know, because going into the Packers game, they had a good display of running the football last week, so that worried me a little bit defensively. But they caused turnovers when they needed to. Chop's pressure was unbelievable. But
Yeah.
like, back to the offense and Tua, like it was just so comforting to watch that offense in motion, and it felt like everything was clicking and the rhythm was there, and like they got Waddle involved. They got Jonu's been heavily involved in the offense. Tyreek had some burst. We didn't run the football great yesterday. Like,
No.
I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we did. So that's something we got to look at as we continue. But yesterday was Tua's game, and he made it happen.
Yeah, I'm glad that you brought up the fact that it's been essentially since Austin Jackson has exited the lineup that the run game has gone downward significantly. And while yesterday was a very, I would guess, a vintagey Dolphins game while in the Mike McDaniel era, and they got away from the run. They didn't run the ball very well. They didn't run the ball at all, it felt like. I mean, they threw it, 40 times, and they ran it like 15, I guess, maybe. But it didn't seem it was very unbalanced compared to what it's been. And I think that I guess you could kind of give credit to the fact that the Patriots are a very box heavy defense.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know. I just don't want to revert back to old ways just because we're playing better. And it seems like we're going in the wrong direction play calling wise, because like this is they're still fitting the narrative that they've always fit, is that they haven't beat a good team. They beat on all the bad teams. And so we're going to find out Thursday night, but I guess I like, as excited as I am for how they played yesterday and how they have been playing. I just like, it's in the back of my mind, like about this much about like,
Yeah. And I don't like, if we can't run the football, we're not going to be able to win in December, and we're not going to be able to win playoff games. So like that, I'm hoping maybe Isaiah Wynn coming back will help. But like you said, it seemed like it was, an Austin Jackson, which usually, I mean, I guess every offensive lineman matters in the run game, but normally you see that big dip with your guards because those are the guys you usually have pulling when it comes to the run game. But dude, Brewer again looks so good yesterday. He's a top 5 center in the league. Like,
really well.
Chris Carter needs his flowers on that one, because he has been like a really, really good player and not been a problem whatsoever, knock on wood. So it's exciting to see like his progression. Like lock him up if he's not already. I don't even remember what we signed him for, but
I think he signed a 2-year deal.
okay, well, re-sign him again because he fits our offensive scheme well. So
Yeah.
that's good news. But again, the bad news is if we can't run the football consistently, like I worry a little bit about um how we fare at the end of the season in these cold weather games.
Yeah, I just have concern because my concern lies, well, I feel good that there is some accountability being held on Mostert for fumbling and just like I didn't really feel like he was doing his job very well at the beginning of the season. And it seems like he's cute or RB3 on the depth chart, which is wild, but
Yeah.
same rate, like I don't there seemed to be some good jump out of Wright yesterday comparatively from what it's been. But I want to I don't, I just, it just something just feels different when it's not Achan.
Yeah, and I think also like the other thing to think about is we're using our quick game as an extension of the run.
Yeah.
Like so the way that we set up some of our screens, like it's basically a run play, right? Like it's behind the line of scrimmage. It's meant to be a run. And the other thing too is like the Patriots, we've already played them,
Mhm.
so they've kind of already felt what this run game looks like. And you got to remember, we didn't have Tua then, so it was very run heavy,
Yeah.
right? So they got a heavy dose of run. They got a heavy dose of run film that allowed them to come in with probably a little bit of a better arsenal than a team that we haven't played yet. So they knew exactly how we were probably going to attack them in the run game.
Yeah. No.
Um, because you got to think about like this is Tua's first week of preparation towards the Patriots. So I got to wonder how much like he was him being so involved in the preparation. I just wonder if it got pass heavy because of that. And obviously it was working, right? So I mean the good
Right.
news. Clearly they were worried about us running the football because they had loaded boxes. We saw a lot more one high than we've seen in the past, and we couldn't run the football, but we won in a different way, and that's okay. What we need to see transition is we need it with hopefully Win coming back this week, fitting him in the O line. He also played tackle at one point, so I
He,
don't know if that's an option. Like if, but Lamb hasn't been an issue, so I don't want to switch anything up at the tackles if we don't have to. But I
right.
think he is something that we need to think about, like just keep in the back of our mind as we continue throughout the season. He could be another tackle type player for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I remember when he played tackle for the Pats there early in his career. The other thing that I wanted to bring up to you, because I don't know if you noticed this or not, but this has to do with Odell. And straight up, I never played offense. I was strictly defense. So I don't understand the route running. But whenever it seems like he's breaking on these slants, he's getting too much depth up the field and he's not like getting enough depth like into the middle of the field. It seems like he's trying to cut up field because that makes more sense because he's going to try to get the ball and go up field. I understand that, but it feels like he hasn't been able to get in sync with Tua on these slants because they're always a smidge behind him and they're always easily defendable because you already have that corner coming behind him already like right there on his hip that all they have to do is just stick their hand out, they're going to block it every time. And like
Yeah,
is what I really notice a lot with Odell, that where they would be super easy completions with anybody else, but they're just not with him right now. And I don't know if that is a him problem or a him into a problem or not, but like that is one thing that glared out to me over the last couple weeks.
yeah, those two are just not on the same page. And you're right, the slants do feel weird. I don't know without like looking at it if it's a two or an Odell thing, but regardless, it's not connecting. And even on that like fade ball that Tua dropped into the bucket, like
Oh,
that Odell catches that in his prime. He's not been, I think, what we wanted out of that three receiver, and that's continues to be a need for us or an issue for us. But in saying that, that's where the John Oo's and the Achans and those people of the world and Malik Washington, with flashes like have filled in, and that's why our offenses can continue to be able to produce.
yeah,
And we're finally at a point where, like, I think people realizing that two is actually making people around him better, where it's
yeah,
not as Tua needs this whole cast of players, which he does. He needs the right type of guys that understand can catch the ball in traffic because
Yeah.
he's going to put it in tight windows,
Yep.
and he needs guys that understand the timing of an NFL offense. There's offenses like the Steelers of the past, and even like the way the Bengals run some of their offense, where it is a lot of they have like built-in scramble type plays into their offense,
Yeah.
where it's like, hey, buy time, allow your receivers to get open and make off-scheduled plays. The Bills are like that a lot, not so much this year, but they used to be. Like so, we don't have that in like our offense isn't built around that. Tua's been
Right.
able to do that like organically, but that's not something that you're going to see on a regular basis with him. So having the ability to be on time is in your route running is what's going to make you most effective in this offense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that Jonnu, his emergence in the offense is like we've been begging to have a tight end, a receiving tight end, an end blocking tight end that can kind of do all of it and stretch the field. And the way that Jonnu's been playing is that's why I feel like Waddle had the game that he had yesterday because you can only cover so many people. If you're going to double Waddle and you're going to double Tyreek, somebody else has got to be open, and that person can't be Durham Smythe. And the reason that Jonnu and Achan work so well in the pass game right now is exactly for that reason. And it's really good to see that there is a continued evolution throughout the offense because that was one of the biggest things we wanted to see this year is where can we go with this in year 3, and that is the clear point of emphasis.
Yeah, I'm hoping that like the cut like we've been preaching about the cover two, like we hopefully we found a way to beat that consistently, right? So like having that ability
Mm-hmm.
um is going to carry over into the December games because teams are going to start attempting. The only way to stop John O is to get out of cover two, right? Because like he's just going to find spots in his zone and sit down. Like he is a receiver playing tight end,
Yeah.
so like that's what like Smythe isn't doing that. Julian Hill isn't doing that. Jaceki couldn't get open. He could like those types of tight ends don't fit in this offense. The John Oos of the world, the Travis Kelce's that can sit down into windows of the zone is
Mm-hmm.
what is going to fit into this offense, right? So the other way they're going to be able to stop that effectively and on a regular basis is bringing another safety down into the box because normally in a cover two, that linebacker has that hook curl for
Right.
John O, right?
Uh-huh.
But with us being able to run the ball, they are going to be tied up with that and our play fakes and the way that we motion and get them out of position. So they're going to have no choice but to have their focus elsewhere. Where John gets open doing that because they're sitting in a cover two. They
Yeah.
walk that guy down. Now we have our track stars with single high coverage.
Yeah. Which is really what you want in this. That's what we want. We just haven't
Yeah.
forced teams to do that for us. So
Yeah, and we beat the living fucking shit out of the Patriots, and I love to see that. Like, regardless, say about the season, Tua again is undefeated against the Patriots, and I love every second of it, and I'm gonna continue to love it. And we're gonna be undefeated against the Jets as well because he's gonna dog walk them as mark them as wins. So let's look ahead. Like
yeah. Do you want to say anything about the defense? I thought the defense played really, really well yesterday. Jordan Poyer was iffy again. We need like
he got ran the fuck over.
he got ran over twice in that drive.
Dude, I mean, knee to the chest ran over. Like that was bad. That
That was
he
bad.
should have made a business decision on that because that
Goodness.
was not good for the program. Yeah, defensively, I said it at the start. Like our inability, dude, our angles were
Yeah.
so poor.
They need to tighten
Like
it.
on the way Drake May was able to scramble. Like I don't know if he was like decisively fast and because we didn't see him week one, like they didn't really like he's a quick kid and like Anthony Walker multiple times took horrible angles.
Well,
Um,
I think that that's going to get eaten up with Dodson entered into the lineup now because they don't have a choice. They got to play Dodson now, which
yeah, dude.
is what.
Also didn't realize that he was 11 and thought for 1 millisecond David Long was still on the team.
Yeah, no, I like Anthony Walker, but it's like what we said. Like I don't know if we said it last week or the week before. He has limitations to his game. He's not a good cover linebacker. He's gonna get beat. He has to take the right angle every single time, and it he didn't yesterday, and I feel like adding somebody like Dodson and Brooks already have the chemistry. They have good chemistry because
Chemistry.
they've been doing this for a while together. So
Yeah.
I think that is good. It's bad. Like I don't want to see people get hurt, but we kind of knew all along Dodson was going to work his way into the lineup.
Right. Yeah. And it was good. And he made an impact when he got in there. So that's like
Yeah.
what
And Chop,
another
Chop, oh,
chop rob. Dude, he had 10 pressures yesterday.
yeah,
10.
that tackle was bad. I mean, that guy was like Liam Eichenberg out there.
Dude, yeah, he did not look good. That guy got embarrassed. But Chop, oh my God. He's 21 years old. Like I can't keep stressing on that. He has the ability. In 10 years, he will be 31. That's his prime.
Yeah, it's pretty insane.
Calais Campbell is like 48 years old. Chop could play 20 years.
As long as he doesn't get hurt. But yeah, like I can't. I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this defensive line now. Like they seem like Sealer played great again. Chop is really coming into his own. Calais is holding it down, and Benito Jones played pretty.
Dude, Benito's great against the run. He's been like him and Deshaun Hand have both been like good players that we didn't expect to contribute the way they are.
Right.
And like I'm happy they are. But again, they still ran the ball on us a little bit. So like I just want to caution that going into a short week,
Yes.
like it's going to be cold, weather's going to be bad. The Packers are going to want to run the football. Like I think they're going to be without Dobbs.
Okay.
We because he had a concussion, and I can't imagine he's going to get out of the protocol in 3 days. But it's not Tua, so maybe.
Is was Fuller back this week?
No, so I'm
Did he
like I'd
come
love
back?
to get Fuller back. If we can get Fuller back, and we can trust him and Ramsey and Man, that allows us to put more guys in the box to stop the run, which we're
Mhm.
going to have to do. Jordan Love's going to turn the football over. He's going to throw an interception. He yesterday was the first game he hasn't thrown an interception. I think it's in like 10 games or something like that. Like he's going to throw a pick. So we've got to capitalize on that, and we've got to not get into the primetime Dolphins try to make a statement and throw the football over the yard. Like,
Mhm.
let's continue what we did last primetime and run the football.
Yes, we need to. Yes, you're exactly right. We need to stick to the plan. We need to not try to be something that we're not. We don't need to go out there and start slinging it all over the yard. Exactly what you said. We need to play exactly like they played against the Rams because it's a very similar system. It's the McVay Shanahan system with LaFleur, and like yeah, I mean like they got a good defense, but I mean, if I'm McDaniel, I am pulling up that film of Jair Alexander and I can't remember the other guy, but they were waddling into the tunnel on
Yeah,
Christmas 2 years ago. Like you
I
need.
tweeted it at Waddle and Tyreek's morning and said bulletin board. I don't care. Listen, dude, and I love Calais Campbell in the locker room just saying like, "Hey, enjoy it for 15 minutes, and then we have a game in 3 days,
Yeah,
and this game is the most important game of the season." I could argue at this point, this is one of Tua's most important games in his career.
I yeah no, I agree. It's huge. It's literally. I mean, if you're gonna some people are now starting to realize that the Dolphins, if they can lose one and they can still probably get into the playoffs, and they just got to take care of business with the rest of them. And a lot of people are picking the Packers for obvious reasons. I mean, the narrative is that they can't win a cold weather game. They don't play well in
I
the
think Tua is
play well
0 and
prime
7,
time.
and Tua is 0 and 7 in games under 40 degrees.
Yeah, so that is a big problem. And the fact that like we're going into a big game, we need to see we need our players to show up. We need the good players. We need Tyreek. We need Waddle. We need Jonnu. Like everybody on the offense needs to step it up because every time we get into a big game like this, it's the same thing every time. We're always like, dude, where is everybody? What are they doing? And it finally feels a little bit different because it's not all on Waddle. It's not all on Tyreek, and it's really not all on Tua right now. It's a collective group because you're not seeing Tyreek pop off for 140 a week. And it's really the outlier was Waddle popping off for 140 this past week. Like these things aren't happening. It is very team oriented. It's not one player dependent anymore. I mean, it's very
Right.
dependent on Tua, but it's,
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
the offense, right, yeah. I know exactly. Yeah, we are definitely not one dimensional. We're not Tyreek dimensional. Like and that's obvious. But to your point, they just got to show up. And I'm thinking about like I'm almost rather going into this game being 5-6 than if we were going in at like
8-3.
7-4, 8-3. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah.
Because like I feel like this is the normal time where this game's like super hyped, Thanksgiving prime time,
Mhm.
and that's where we lay an egg. I'm also hoping that like if I'm a gambler, I'm looking at Tua being 0-7 and 40 degrees below, and then being god awful in prime time, and I'm throwing every dollar I have on the Packers minus 2.5 or whatever the hell it is, -3, whatever it ends up being.
Mhm.
So and love it. I hope everyone picks against us. Like that's the kind of energy we need to keep in our building is that it's us against the world because we've been counted out for so long. But like it's not going to matter if they don't win this football game. They're just going to like even if they could make the playoffs, lose this game and make the playoffs, and the narrative is going to be the same. We're going to go into that wild card game and everyone's going to say, "Do you remember when they went to Green Bay and it was cold and lost?" That's exactly what's going to happen. Super wild card weekend. Here we go. Like,
Yeah, no, you're right. This
just
is
go win the game one time. Win a football game that matters.
yeah, no, like yes, it is going to get really, really, really loud if they don't, and it's just because like they're just going to fall. I guess my point is that will the veteran leadership that we pulled in this year made such an emphasis on getting, does it pay off in a game like this? Doesn't matter because I feel like with a team led by Calais and the fact that like McDaniel didn't want to let him go at the deadline after they had a deal ready, like it's time to show us why.
Get out there and smack some people into math.
Smack him into math. Yeah. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking for Thursday night? Final score
So I think it's going
or
to
your betting
be
line.
um, it's definitely going to be a high scoring game. Like I think it's going to be one of those.
Really?
I really do because I worry I worry about them running the football. Like I like the middle of our defense is just gotten a little soft. I think they just not soft's not the right word. We've made stops at the right time. That classic bend but don't break. But the Packers coming off that success uh,
Mm-hmm.
yesterday
Mm-hmm.
on such a short week, they're going to try to just go right back to that, right? Like that, and us having less preparation time on them being able to run the football well, them being able to design offenses very, very well, and us not being able to see them a lot. Flip side, that could also be a win for us too.
Yeah.
But like, it's we'll know after the first quarter. Like if they're running the ball and we're not running the ball well in the first quarter, we're in trouble. I'm just gonna tell you right now, we're in
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
If we can come out and we can establish the run, I would love a first quarter stat line of 7-3 our ball. I don't even care if we're down. We're down 7-3. We had two long drives. One resulted in a field goal, one resulted in a turnover on downs, but we're 50-50 down the middle, pass run, and everything's gelling.
Okay. All right.
That's a good first quarter.
I think that is I think you're right because we need to see the consistency in the play calling. Like this is I think you're right. I think this is significantly different than what it's been under McDaniel because this is the exact time they've been 8-3 both times. They're 5-6 this time and they've laid eggs in this exact game because
Mm-hmm.
they're always here in this spot. They've always been in the big game this weekend and they've always dropped it. So you're right. I think that the narrative has flipped a little bit here for them. They got something to fight for now. They can't lose focus. So
They're gonna fucking do it to me, dude.
yeah, they will. Because you know what's gonna happen. They lose this game, and then they're gonna beat the Texans. They're gonna squeak out one against the 49ers.
We're
And
gonna win out and lose to the Browns last game of the year in the cold.
the last game, that next to the last game against the Browns.
And the next last game against the Browns, we're gonna lose it in the cold. Can't
Mm,
play in the cold.
so they're gonna win the one, but we can't lose to an AFC team. If we're gonna lose, we got to lose to an NFC team.
They're gonna do it. They are gonna. It's gonna be 24/7. We're gonna lose 24/7. Fuck, dude. This is what I mean. They brought us back in. We could have been doing draft talk. They're gonna ruin my Thanksgiving. They're gonna, dude.
At least you've already ate by the time the game comes on.
I don't know if I'll be able to. I'll be nervous. I would just be shaking. I'm not gonna be able to eat.
Oh my! Well, I'm gonna be eating. I ain't letting the Finns ruin my Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, we're gonna.
We thought the same thing last year. Look what happened on Black Friday.
Get to the Cowboys.
No, that was
What about
Christmas Eve. Black Friday was a Jets game.
the Jets? Suck though.
You weren't nervous about the Jets. I was. I'm still nervous.
Yeah, the Jets suck.
I know.
They ain't worried about the Jets.
I know that they suck, but I'm just worried that we'll lay an egg against them.
Dude, I don't understand why we can't win cold football games. That's what I'm sitting here thinking about. Like, dude,
They need to make that bubble like icy in there. They need to make it a crisp 32 in there.
the good news is that the field is heated in Green Bay. So even though it is the frozen tundra, it is a heated frozen tundra. Yeah, it is a frozen tundra, but it's thawing. And you know what's this is, and I was thinking about this morning.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game that.
Yeah, that's what they said on Levitard this morning. This is always the game that.
This is the game.
This is the game. Yeah, we're not gonna.
But they're in the throwbacks. He has never been concussed in the throwbacks.
Yes, he was. He happened the Bills.
When?
Bills.
Were they the white ones too?
No, they were the aqua ones.
Okay, never been concussed in the white throwbacks.
No, we know. I can remember off the top of my head.
No, it was Thursday night teal pants.
Oh God, that's why they don't wear the aqua anymore because that happened the first time.
It was retro jersey.
Green Bay. The second one was Green Bay. The first one was the white. The Cincinnati one was aqua. Then the all whites again at that Christmas Green Bay game.
Mm-hmm.
And the aqua throwbacks this year. So
okay, so white throwbacks, safety net. Love that, dude. He got tackled. After he went back in. So this would have been the exact.
Dude, I saw that and I instantly thought, oh my God, this is so Dolphins. We can't get a backup quarterback that just can't manage the end of a game. So we had to put Tua back in and he gets hurt that way because that's exactly what happened whenever he broke his hip.
Yep. I literally thought it was. I said, "You've got to be fucking." I would have, John. I would have done it if we would have fucking lost the game because Skylar Thompson can't get Daniel Jones. Actually, it's past 4:00. Is he signed yet? I want him as a backup quarterback.
I don't think I've seen anything that said he signed anywhere yet. Check it. Well, you check it while we're live on the air because. We started recording this about 45 minutes after they announced the Win news. So Win is obviously in. We don't know what that's going to look like. So, but yeah, it seems like, I mean, if for all intents and purposes, I don't think anybody is hurt outside. I don't even know what the Anthony Walker situation is. I mean, obviously the injury report looks a little sus, but I mean, it always looks like this at this time of year.
Nothing on DJ yet. Okay. All right. I got a lot of suitors.
But isn't doesn't somebody have to, or does it matter that he cleared waivers now?
He's free agent now.
He's free. Okay, so a team doesn't have to pay him that 11 million.
No, that was only if he didn't clear waivers.
Only if he didn't clear. Okay, so he was off
clear. Yeah, no one's paying that. Oh. So I'd love for him to be our backup quarterback. Not that I think Tua's going to get hurt again, but like I would think that he could probably win a game better than Skylar.
I would trust Daniel Jones more than I trust Skylar Thompson. He can't even do a hand.
Skylar Thompson's bad at football.
I
John,
can't.
he should not be in the NFL. And I'm sorry. He is a really nice guy,
Yeah,
I'm sure. But I need
him go.
Progressive to call him right now and to get him to start selling and bundling your home and auto. Brought to you by Skylar Thompson. I know that I fumbled the ball, but don't let me fumble your quote, is what he should be saying. I like he almost single-handedly not that I'm back in because I still think they're going to do it to us.
You're lying.
I'm not back in.
You're back in. Don't lie.
I'm dipping the water in.
No, no, no. You're full. You're full in.
I'm dipping the toe.
No. You're sitting in the hot tub. The hot tub water is right up here at your chin, and
I
I'm.
do have an entire new podcast set up. How about that? We were canceling. We canceled. I tried to cancel it, and now I have an entire new setup.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's what I said. Like you're sitting in the hot tub, and that steam is running off the hot tub. It's moistening that upper lip. It's you're feeling good. You're nice.
Josh was so mad at me because I came in so negative yesterday. I walked in. He was like white out game, and I said, "For what? What are we whiting out? I wish I had white out for this season." I was just I had to be because it feels like every week I'm so afraid to hurt myself again. Like you don't understand that pain. And it's to me, it just feels like if I go into the game with low expectations and the planning to lose, because I'm not, and I know that's a loser mentality, and I agree, but I'm not playing the game. I'm not playing the game. If I was playing the game, never would I have that mentality. I love nothing more than to win. I don't think anyone understands that. I want to win more than I want anything else in my entire life. I love to win if I was playing the game.
Yes.
That's part of the reason why being a fan sucks, because I'm not playing the game. So I'm allowed to have a loser mentality because I've watched you guys lose all the time.
Well, I'm glad
so I can't be the bad guy.
I'm glad that you finally hopped on board. Maybe you should just hug a Cena or something during the game. Also, loyalty and respect.
That's funny, right? I need
that's what you should.
This is what I need.
You need another one for your other hand. That way you don't start. Yes, you need to just wear that for all the games.
And then I can't. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know why you didn't have that on sooner. You have two? Oh my. We can't even end it any better than that. But yes, game is Thursday night, Sunday night football. Huge Fins game versus the Packers. They're gonna come out. I got a feeling.
Oh, come on. Ooh. What's the thing?
I feel it. I got a feeling that it's gonna be good. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe Friday we're coming in here and you have two deflated fists.
And this is burnt. I put him up, dude. The Super Bowl winning Chad Henne.
You did hoist the Henne. The Henne has been hoisted.
Super Bowl win. We need that Super Bowl energy. Dude, he is. I mean, I don't understand the hate on the Henne. He is. He has more Super Bowls than any Dolphins quarterback ever.
The Henchise.
He has more Super Bowls than any Dolphins quarterback ever.
Yeah.
Fins up.
Fins up.